she on? Legitimately. Seriously.
Like, this is so
what
fucking
is this? Oh, like, it's gross.
You gotta see, man. Like me and Cornel West, we mutual. Look at the top right here. I'm friends with Cornel West. I had him on multiple times. This shit is sad. It's sad. And he is getting his ass handed to him, and he deserves it. And this is kind of shit that repulses everyone. This brown-nosing bullshit. Like, this is you, Dr. Cornel West, being weak on white supremacy. What you accuse other people of being. You're being weak on Nazism in order to fit in with your bourgeoisie social club. Yes. And RBN and workers like me who don't give a fuck about being in that club, it offends me to see that you don't care about the truth. So you rather be a part of this social club. You rather have liberals approve of you. So you spread bullshit. You spit in our faces. Yeah. You bullshit us so you can fit in with people that we don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
This is class war, motherfucker. You don't understand the assignment.
No, he does not.
You clearly don't understand the assignment. If you don't read, I'm reading now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm assuming everyone's seeing it. So here's the tweet. I'm gonna try not to throw the fuck up. Here's Cornel West. My prayers are with the precious family of the courageous Russian political prisoner. The courageous late Alexei Navalny. Feel free to interrupt Misty anytime. I'm not going to get mad. Just as I pray for my dear brothers, Mumia, Leonard Peltier. Oh my God. This is what really pissed me off. Like, it'd be one thing you just said, I'll still be cringe, but this is the part. You're going to compare this traitorous scum who sold out his people to the CIA to the people who was the enemies of the CIA in a deep state? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And again, an actual white supremacist. An actual white supremacist, like a legitimate, this guy, I mean, we could pull up the videos of him talking about Arabs and Muslims, calling them cockroaches. We could pull up all of those videos. There's plenty of them. This is an actual racist, white supremacist piece of shit Nazi. And Cornel West was throwing a fit about how he cares so much about white supremacy and that's like his biggest issue. And really? Because it doesn't look like it.
He called Jimmy a Trumper. He like, you like Trump, don't you? You like fucking Alexei Navalny, apparently.
Cornel West is a Trumper. He's a white supremacist, apparently.
Brain worms.
Yes.
Like, this is the lack of intellectual curiosity and anti-intellectualism that fucking pisses me off.
For me, Misty was so amped up in the very first seconds of the video. She's like almost like a child that is so like amped up on like so many things that she seems so excited, like not excited like I'm getting on a ride for a kid, but like excited like something is about to happen, very nervous. And it speaks to just the sheer shock of what you're seeing. That anyone who has an analysis of the empire as he does, you would expect to understand this is part of the empire. This particular guy that they're talking about that died in prison. So Cornel West, RFK also does this where they get the deep state, the U.S. empire correct on so many things. It's very unbelievable that you're able to get Israel wrong, that you're able to get Nazis wrong in this case. So that's where it begins to be where, and you're this intellectual too. You have these degrees. We call you a doctor, but it comes up short with, for example, with Dr. Cornel West, with the selection of the People's Party. Then all of the moving around between the things, it doesn't reflect a person who has the doctor in front of them. It does not. And this is just yet another example of that. But before we get into all of it, let me just kind of just broadly talk about what I want to address here, because I'm not going to revisit a lot of the same things that we've all talked about. This is going to be a shorter stream. One thing about still being sick, I don't have the energy. That's why I got a little bit of Gatorade here and some other more natural sodium. I just ate a banana. So energy level still not there. So let's see. Let's try to keep this at about 60 to 90 minutes. With that said, I'm not going to be covering some of the things we already covered, like the guy Alexia, whatever his name is, Navalny. We don't need to cover he's a Nazi. We already know that. There's coming into this stream, there's already established facts, and that is he's a Nazi. And another established fact is the empire, the U.S. empire, has decided to sort of martyrdom this person and make him this freedom fighter. We're going to cover a particular segment. I actually think Cornel West must have been watching when he constructed this god-awful tweet. He had to have been watching the segment I'm going to bring up from, I think it's MSNBC. But anyway, when I bring that clip up, because that's the only clip or one of the few clips I've seen, I'm trying to think if I've seen another one, where they do what he's doing here in this tweet, which is he's not only talking about, like what Nick says, he's not only just bringing up the guy, he's in comparing him with other people. And there's this segment where he does just that. So I'm wondering if Cornel West saw that and was like, oh, you know, and that's what I think a lot of these professional managerial class types who always seem to get not everything right is because they largely watch their friends, they watch their colleagues on TV, and that is corporate media. So he's sitting there at home is what I'm thinking and watching this segment that I'm going to show you in a little bit. But before we do that, I do want to finish out with this intro video. I'm going to rewind it because there's some stuff I want to break down in what Nick and Comrade Misty said. When I was watching this stream yesterday is when I decided to stream today and cover it. And that's when I hit up Aaron. And if you didn't know, Aaron, our editor is back. So we love that she is back. So, send some love Aaron's way. So that's why you see the nice clips now with the thumbnails, the nice thumbnails and everything. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the video. There's a couple of things I want to break down what they said. I was watching this when I decided to do this stream today.
And again, this one's so fucking easy. Look at this tweet. Cornel West did not just praise.
That's the part I'm talking about. Misty was so like, I can't believe it. Like she's like in overload, like intellectual overload. I cannot believe this is happening. It's a shock. You can see she is in literal shock. Like, what the fuck? I've never seen her kind of stutter like that. But it wasn't a stutter of speaking. It was a stutter of just stimuli. He's like, oh my God, what the hell is this? But let's listen.
And again, this one's so fucking easy. Look at this tweet. Cornel West did not just praise Alexei Navalny. He lumped him in with Mumia and Leonard Peltier. Are you joking?
When the last time you seen Nick put his hand on his face? Ooh, so I'm leading up to where we're gonna get there, but this is what I was watching as I decided to do the stream today. And that's the first thing I wanted to kind of talk about. This 4-minute segment of yesterday's live stream, funny and very analytical and to the point, and addresses some of the things that I'm going to be talking about today, which is how Cornel West weaponizes his Christian faith to excuse his milquetoast establishment views. That's one thing we're going to be covering. And also this question or this item here, how Dr. Cornel West completely bastardized the term brother. So we'll be covering that along with some other things, hopefully under 90 minutes. Excuse me. Let me shout out these this super chat before I get started here. Thank you, Biden71, for the super sticker. And then I also wanted to put this back up because this is not with any sort of happiness or gratitude. I don't even know what the right word. I don't get anything out of this. It would be just as well for me to have another day of rest for being sick and this never to have happened, like this tweet to have never happened, because all of us are examining what he put out there the right way. This is terrible. There's a lot of people who liked it who are not in our community, who are not having this same discussion, who are not maybe privy to the same information, and if they are, they don't care. The cowbell Democrat supporters, cowbell. I think it was called cowbell left, coined by Due Dissidents. Excuse me. But this is not with any sort of pleasure. This is unfortunate, but we must be consistent. And for RBN, this is a very important point to make, that we must cling to anti-intellectual. We must push away anti-intellectualism and cling to learning and reading and intellectualism. That's what we at RBN want to push. But let's continue with the video. I needed to simmer down coughing so that I'm laughing so I wouldn't cough. So now let's get back to the video.
Joking, Dr.
That
West?
was
Like what kind of drugs is he on? Legitimately. Seriously.
like this is so.
What is
fucking
this?
unbelievable.
Oh,
Like,
it's gross.
Yeah, see, man, like me and Cornel West, we mutual. Look at the top right here.
Mhm.
I'm friends with Cornel West. I had him on multiple times. This shit is sad. It's sad. And he's getting his ass handed to him, and he deserves it. And this is kind of shit that repulses everyone. This brown nosing bullshit. Like, this is you, Dr. Cornel West, being weak on white supremacy. What you accuse other people of being.
Thank
You're
you.
being weak on Nazism in order to fit in with your bourgeoisie social club.
Ain't that something? That's exactly what he's doing. And it illustrates that even so far, some of the loudest voices, the people who get the greatest praise for doing what they do, like a Cornel West, they have these flaws that's tied to their class. Because if Cornel West didn't have, let's use the word aspirations, like what they use for Palestinians. If he didn't have the aspirations to be well liked, to be embraced, and not ridiculed and hated by the very people in his class, what we have seen this tweet, I would hope that we would not have seen this tweet. But let's continue so we can get through to this and show you the segment I think he watched when he came up with this tweet.
Club.
Yes.
And RBN and workers like me who don't give a fuck about being in that club, it offends me to see that you don't care about the truth. So you rather be a part of this social club. You rather have liberals approve of you. So you spread bullshit. You spit in our faces.
Yeah.
You bullshit us so you can fit in with people that we don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
This is class war, motherfucker. You don't understand the assignment.
No.
And that's there what Nick says. You don't understand the assignment. This is a classic critique of these left figures who are deeply entrenched in the bourgeois culture, the bourgeois class. They have these spells of forgetting the imperial analysis that they are so well known for. How many times you see RFK, he is blind with Israel magically. Somehow. He's the only one that don't see this as a genocide somehow. They all have these blind spots where they choose and understand they're choosing, where they choose to side with the establishment narrative in order to maintain good standing with their class. Just think back, when was Cornel West having the most public friction with people in his class? Remember when he, in the beginning, announced with the People's Party? It was more of a curiosity thing. Hey, what's going on over here? Oh, People's Party. Do you know about this? Then he figured out. Luckily, he switched to the Green Party. That's when all hell broke loose. That's when the interviews became more frequent. That's when the interviews became more aggressive. When he was part of the Green Party movement, we were pushing him for the movement. Black Power Media, even with our critiques of Black Power Media, they were also interviewing. So it was their show, our show, and a couple of other handfuls of shows where he was saying, I'm coming to be accountable to the community through these shows. And that's what we thought. But what it really was what people in the professional managerial class do all the time. They're good studies. They study the radicals. And then they go amongst their friends and speak radically so that they can seem Malcolm X adjacent. When you're not, it's okay to be in the lane that you're in, advocating the way that you're advocating. But to pretend, anyway, I'm kind of getting into a tangent that I'm going to address later, but which is, we have to also take note that when we're talking about how he uses his Christian faith to shield him, we have to understand Christian radicals now are far from what Christian radicals were just 50, 60 years ago. Far from it. Do I think Malcolm X and MLK would tweet a Nazi alongside other people like this? No. Let's continue.
No, he does not.
You clearly don't understand the assignment. If you don't read, I'll read it now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm assuming everyone's seeing this. So here's the tweet. I'm gonna try not to throw the fuck up. Here's Cornel West. My prayers are with the precious family of the courageous Russian political prisoner, the courageous late Alexei Navalny. Feel free to interrupt Misty anytime. I'm not gonna get mad. Just as I pray for my dear brothers, Mumia, Leonard Peltier. Oh my God. This is what really pissed me off. Like, it'd be one thing you just say I'll tweet, it'd still be cringe, but this is the part. You're gonna compare this traitorous scum who sold out his people to the CIA to the people who was the enemies of the CIA in a deep state? What the fuck is wrong with you?
That pairing does so much destruction. That pairing. You know what this allows? It allows Nazis now to go ahead and say, look, Cornel West accepts our Nazi as long as with his other heroes. People in the professional managerial class make this fatal error in because they're intellectually arrogant, he's gonna stay with this tweet. Now, he saw the whole world on Twitter rain down on his head, and this tweet is still up because he's intellectually arrogant. You saw it when he came on here at RBN. We told that motherfucker about what to say. We told him what he was doing and the ramifications of it and all. Get the fuck out of here, man.
And again, an actual white supremacist. An actual white supremacist.
You know what you're doing, Cornel West, to your own cause against white supremacy with this? It's completely just unreal. Unreal. I'm trying to get through this here. I'm barely halfway through this video here. This is not the main part of the video, I promise you.
Supremacist, like a legitimate, this guy, I mean, if you want, we could pull up the videos of him talking about Arabs and Muslims, calling them cockroaches. We could pull up all of those videos. There's plenty of them. This is an actual racist, white supremacist piece of shit Nazi. And Cornel West was throwing a fit about how he cares so much about white supremacy and that's like his biggest issue. And really? Because it doesn't look like it.
He called Jimmy a Trumper. He like, you like Trump, don't you? You like fucking Navalny, apparently.
Cornel West is a Trumper. He's a white supremacist, apparently.
Brain worms.
Yes.
Like this is the lack of intellectual curiosity and anti-intellectualism that fucking pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be a scholar, bro. Like,
you got no time for this.
Fam. You the doctor, fam. How we know more than you on this?
Yeah.
There's
people in the chat, and I'm not yelling at the people in the chat. There's people in the chat saying, well, I don't think he made this. It was probably some intern or some.
Oh my God. Will people stop babying these grown ass geriatric people? Want to be the first one to excuse the person. Jesus, get out of that. So his name is on the account. He's responsible. And just to be clear, through a source, that tweet, any tweets that go out through that account is approved by Cornel West and or his wife. So let's not act like that shit was just sent out willy-nilly. A source reached out and said, no. I'm paraphrasing. Don't let nobody tell you. Otherwise, anything that comes out of that account is this. And it's a trusted source. Close to Cornel.
I don't give a fuck. It's his campaign. It's his Twitter page. He is responsible for the things that are put out on it. And he's had plenty of time. He's had plenty of time to delete it. He's had plenty of time to delete it. Hasn't.
He hasn't. Now let me just cut away here and go bring. Now this is I was looking to say, because what I did is I'm trying to understand. Like, what is the, corporate media saying about him? How are they delivering news about the death of this Nazi? How is corporate media covering it? Because that's likely where Cornel West got his assessment, got his gall to tweet and include this guy, and maybe even got the inspiration from a clip very similar to this one, because listen to what this guy says. Not him on the screen, but I think he's the former ambassador to Russia. If you watch MSNBC or even Morning Joe, you've seen this next guy coming up plenty times. But let's listen.
Let's bring in former U.S. ambassador to Russia, now director of the Institute for International Studies at Stanford, and an NBC News international affairs analyst, Michael McFaul. Ambassador, thanks for being with us. I mentioned a few minutes ago on this show your reaction on Twitter. I'd like to hear more from you here, and also what more you're hearing about this from your contacts inside Russia.
Guys, I don't know what to say. I'm going to try to be analytic, but I want you to know Alexei Navalny was my friend. I was with his wife last night. I'm here in Munich talking to her. His daughter, Dasha, goes to school at Stanford. So this is a pretty emotional.
So the guy who died, this is his personal friend. Because again, he used to be a former ambassador to Russia for the United States. So if you know him that well, that means you know he's a Nazi, right? Look at the assessment this ambassador gives to this Nazi. Listen to the assessment that he gives and listen how he compares him to someone else very, very eerily similar to Cornel West's tweet.
Pretty emotional time for me. Putin killed Navalny. Let's be crystal clear about that. I don't care about any investigation, his ill, arrested, had him in solitary confinement.
When it comes to Putin, damn the rule of law. I don't care about no damn investigation. He killed him. Meanwhile, we can't get a straight answer on whether or not Israel's committing a genocide after 30,000 dead people. They still have no clue. You asked them that question. I don't know. You asked John Kirby. He started looking around like he damn looking for something on the damn ground. Let's continue.
In a cell which was designed to, and today he is dead. Putin killed Navalny. And why did he?
There you go.
Because Putin is weak. You don't kill people if you're strong.
You don't kill people if you're strong, says a former ambassador to the most murderous empire in human history. We don't kill people. You don't kill people if you're strong, according to this guy. That's just a separate topic, but there you go.
Putin is weak. You don't kill people if you're strong. Putin killed Navalny because Navalny was the one opposition leader in Russia that Putin feared the most. So this is a really tragic day for me, and it should be a tragic day for anybody who cares about democracy. Navalny, in my view, was put him in the category of brave, courageous leaders that, remember, he went back to Russia. He didn't have to go back.
Put him in the category of brave, courageous leaders. Wait, they're going to start you're going to compare him to a specific person. Listen to this. This is why I said I think Cornel must have been watching this. Where else are you getting a comparison? Where else are you getting that? Like Cornel does on his tweet, like you see here.
Go back. He went back for his country because he was a patriot that believed that his country could be different. I put him in the same ranks as the Navalny of Mandela and Valenza and Havel.
He said Mandela. Those words, if you were to draw it out, wouldn't it look very similar to this? Wouldn't what that guy verbalized visually look like this tweet here? What is, because that's the question throughout this video with Misty and Nick. They both keep saying, what is the need to even do that? Where do you get that from? I love when Misty goes, what is this? That their show is a comedy show to me because the way they rant is freaking hilarious. But yeah, I was cracking up yesterday, sick, because coughing. When you laugh, you start coughing. But that shit was hilarious yesterday. Let's let it finish out, and then I got some other analysis here.
Hasn't done that yet.
Bro, this is one of the few times that you throw a staff member under the bus.
Right?
If that is true. I am not a big fan of that, but if there's ever a time to throw a staff member under the bus, if that is true, only if that is true, now is the time. If that is the case, then you better say so. Hey, Dr. Cornel, blink a few times if you're being held captive. Tell me if you're not saying stuff. Tell me if you're not in control of your social media. And
that's how. It's funny, but we're saying it because that's how far off the that's how far off the normal idea of Cornel West This tweet is so far off from that. It's so anti-intellectual. And it's not paying tribute to the other people that's in the tweet. Like, this is not a tribute to them. This is not a tribute to Mumia to say that the other guys is near him. That's not a tribute, Dr. West. All right, almost at the end of this.
And if that's the case, then we will forgive you. But look at this ratio. Twitter's not forgiving them. That is a brutal ratio. I ratioed them pretty brutally. This is Combate. I love his Twitter account. Their Twitter. I don't know their gender. Brother Navalny saw brother Muslims as brother cockroaches.
But go ahead, brother.
Go ahead, brother.
So I love that point there at the end, because that goes to the other part I wanted to talk about, and we're going to interject that also into the conversation. We're not changing it, but just adding this part. The bastardization of the term brother, and the reason I felt comfortable even addressing this is because I'm a preacher's kid. Is because I grew up in the church, and this is something when we began RBN, formerly FHL. This is something JB and I talked about. We were the ones of the members at the time who were the churchgoer, who were maybe not current, but like grew up in the church, choir, all that type of stuff, did all that stuff in the church 4 days a week. So, this particular part, thing that Cornel West does in calling everybody brother, it's not exactly how I would say. It's more traditionally used. People in the church would call other people who was on the same walk, on the same path in religion. You would label them brother, even when talking intellectual, you're talking about ideology with these same church-going people. They will say, yeah, everybody's my brother and sister, but the actual use of using it is typically with people who are on the same walk with you. So Cornel West calling Joe Biden brother, he's not on the same walk with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not on the same walk with you. Even religiously, Joe Biden's Catholic. So the way he's using it is not typically how it's used in the church, in the Black church traditionally. He has decided, with his intellectual prowess, I guess, to say, oh, I'm going to apply it to everybody. Really? Because that application seems to be deadly to me. In the same way how your tweet, now Nazis can go and say, look what Cornel, this leftist thing. This conversation that Nick and Misty had here in this about 4 minute clip. Here's a couple of things I got, though, from the video of Nick and Misty. Being weak on white supremacy. Rather have liberals approve of you than be honest. This is class war. Cornel clearly doesn't understand the assignment. Using the term brother for Biden and others. That's the point. Now I jog my memory. I was getting to. It's the misuse of this term brother. I did want to further break down. Let me not say misuse. It's the overuse of the term brother that he has been known to do. And all people have this reaction. They had these reactions. When I searched for this, I said Cornel West, and I just put brother. And it was a lot of tweets where people were pointing out how he was calling Joe Biden brother. Because it's very unusual to do that, because brother, in what way is he to you a brother? He's not on the same walk as you, not politically, Not in Israel, he's not in the same walk with you. He's not in war, not in religion. So it's an overuse of the word. And I remember when he came on here with Nick and CJ, and we would tell him how he would use the term brother or something nice to talk about Biden, and then when he would talk about Trump, it was this fashion. It was like, you need to equalize both of them. And I think Nick was saying, I was saying to call both fascists. That's what I wanted to do, but he picked the flip side to call both of them brother. It should be I think it should be the other round. Instead of calling Trump, add Trump to the brother list, Biden needs to be added to the fascist list. Fascist Trump, fascist Biden, like that.